I hope you have understood the Socrates concept of dialectics. So the Socrates concept of dialectics is a part of Socrates theory of knowledge. Just to connect the dots, we started with Plato's problem. What was Plato's problem? The bad state of Athens. And what was Plato's diagnosis? What was Plato's diagnosis? Plato's diagnosis was Athens is in bad shape because the people who are ruling are ignorant. Fine. And Plato, as a student of Socrates, believes in Socrates' view that knowledge is virtue. Fine. Hence, he believes that the solution will be the rule of philosophers, and philosopher mean a person who possesses knowledge. Solution is rule of a man of knowledge. Now the next question is, what is knowledge? Fine. What is the way to gain knowledge? Is any knowledge is knowledge? Anybody is a philosopher? Or is there any way to gain knowledge? And where should we go? Where should we go to attain knowledge? And what is the significance of knowledge? So, as the students feel that they are unable to write, I will suggest in the philosophy part, there will be lot of discussion. So primarily focus on discussion. And I try to be slow, but if I will be much slower, it will be very difficult to cover the syllabus in time. So you will have to increase your concentration with respect to what is being taught. And what is more important is that you listen to what is being said, understand the logics behind it, and see whether you are able to answer those key questions. And I will try to write slowly, but don't write everything. Fine. Mostly what is to be written, I tell you, this is the point. You cannot write everything. 60% of the things you will have to keep it in mind also. Okay. So these are the questions, and I feel that to proceed further with Plato, you should be clear with these questions. Fine. So the first question here is, what is the significance of knowledge? Why should we read knowledge? The significance of knowledge is, the purpose of life is happiness. Happiness comes by excellence. Knowledge is a source of excellence. So a person who doesn't have knowledge, this person cannot have excellence. And if person does not have excellence, person cannot be happy. So if he does not have a knowledge, ultimately the life is waste. To lead a life and to lead a good life, a person should have knowledge. Where should we go to attain the knowledge? The second question. So in the last class, I told you, person need not to go anywhere to attain the knowledge, because knowledge is inside us. What is knowledge? What is ultimate knowledge? Knowledge is a truth. What is ultimate truth? God. Where is God? Inside us, in our soul. Fine. To attain knowledge, you need not to leave your house. You have to just do the soul searching. So where we should go to attain knowledge? Nowhere. just understand the soul, and the theory is knowledge is imprinted on our souls. The knowledge of what is right and what is wrong, you only need to listen to your soul. Now, what is the way to gain knowledge? The way to gain knowledge is dialectics. इसको आज सेव कर लेना. The way to gain knowledge is dialectics. Okay? And I told you dialectics is different from rhetoric, भाषणबाजी और प्रवचन. So dialectics is what? It is logical reasoning, not any reasoning. And now, understanding knowledge. This is the question today. Understanding knowledge. Okay? And I have already told you the theory of knowledge is called as epistemology. The theory of knowledge is called as epistemology. Okay? So now, this particular question, listen to me first. What is knowledge? What is knowledge? Fine. So, whether any knowledge is knowledge, how do you recognize this person has a real knowledge? Anyone showing you a certificate doesn't mean that person is a philosopher. So the question is, which knowledge is knowledge? Which person should rightly be called as a philosopher? Is any person claiming to be a teacher is a teacher? Or who is the teacher in real sense? Fine, anybody claiming himself to be an artist doesn't mean he is an artist. So, what is knowledge? How to decide, how to arrive at this idea, or how to understand what is knowledge? Okay? So, the question you have to understand today is what is knowledge, and you have to understand this question is any knowledge is worth calling as knowledge. Is any knowledge is worth treating as knowledge. Fine. So what is knowledge? I will tell you. Is any knowledge is knowledge that you will have to decide. Now, in order to understand knowledge, we will also have to understand two more theories. The theory of idea and the theory of soul. So initially, maybe these three topics appear to be disjointed, but when you will understand all the three, we have to create a comprehensive picture. And even the theory of knowledge needs to be understood in context of the theory of idea. Okay? So, what is knowledge? Is there any knowledge is knowledge? So, first of all, what, you can write slowly, what is knowledge? Fine. So, what is knowledge? Knowledge means understanding of truth. Knowledge is truth, and truth is God. Knowledge is truth, truth is God, so knowledge is also God. Fine. So when you have knowledge, you understand what is right and what is wrong. What is right and what is wrong. What you should do and what you should avoid. What is right for you to eat and what is wrong for you to eat. What has negative impact on the health. You require knowledge. So similarly, understanding the God, listening to God also means understanding do's and don'ts. Understanding the truth also means do's and don'ts. Fine. So God, understanding God means that don't do the things which God will not like. For example, don't kill anybody. Fine. And if you have not killed anybody, you are a right kind of a person. Fine. So truth is the purpose of truth. You have been asking this question. What is God? So God is truth. Gandhi says truth is God and truth is knowledge. So God is also knowledge. God knows everything and God is power. So if you have knowledge, you have a power. You can influence anybody through that knowledge. So ultimately, God is power because God has a knowledge. If you have a knowledge how to build an aircraft, you will have power to fly in the sky and reach from Ayodhya to Sri Lanka or from one place to other place. So God, we use the term Shakti. Shakti means power. God, we use the term Almighty. Almighty means power. Wisdom, knowledge. In Sanskrit, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu. Guru is Brahma, Guru is Vishnu. Guru means teacher. Teacher means philosopher. Philosopher means man of knowledge. Man of knowledge can attain God. Is that clear? So God is also what? God is also a sort of a idea, or God is also the truth. And without knowledge, you cannot attain the God. Okay? Now, what Socrates tells about knowledge. Socrates suggests that there is two types of knowledge. Type 1. Type 1, type 2 word he is not using, I am using. And type 2. So what Socrates tells about knowledge, Socrates says knowledge is of two types. Okay. First is the real knowledge. Real knowledge. The second is illusion of knowledge. Fine. Illusion of knowledge. Something which is not knowledge, but you can say show off. Appearance of knowledge. So just write, and this is not his words. I am using this to explain it to you. Fine. So Socrates decides, or Socrates classifies knowledge into two types. The first is type 1 and second is type 2. So type 1 knowledge is the knowledge, fine, which is in real sense, and second is the illusion of knowledge, which is not knowledge in the real sense, but which appears as if it is knowledge. Fine. So you must have heard this saying. Listen to me first. You all must have heard this saying, all that glitters is not gold. So sometime some cheap material may be brought to you, brought in front of you with a gold polish. Fine, but all that glitters is not gold. So that polished gold is trying to create the illusion of gold. That polished gold is trying to create the appearance of gold. Fine. Now, the wise person, in Hindi you call it parkhi, the wise person will, and it also may happen that the artificial gold is more shining than the real gold, and the foolish persons will get attracted towards that more shining artificial gold, but the wise person knows which is real gold. Okay, now what is a difference between the knowledge, and here I am explaining it with the help of an example of gold. You understand? The real gold and the polished gold. Okay, what is the difference? The difference is the real gold will retain its original brightness, but the polished gold, this will leave its brightness. The brightness will not be permanent. Fine. So this real gold is found in this world in the form of an element, I suppose, and this is created by God. Whereas this polished gold or an artificial gold, this is created by man. Okay. So who can create original gold? Is there any system to create the original gold? Can you create this element? God can create the original gold. Original gold means perfect gold. Why man cannot create? Because man is not as perfect as God. Everything God does, that is beyond doubts. Everything God does is with perfection. And whatever man does is never perfect. Okay? Because man is not perfect. The amount of reason in God, what is God? 100% reason. No person, no human being can be 100% reason. The human being can commit wrongs. God never does wrong. If ever God has done wrong, then only when God has taken the avatar of humans. Otherwise, God will not do anything wrong. Fine. So now, if you have a real knowledge, you will not commit mistakes. If you have a real knowledge, you will not do wrong. But if you have imperfect knowledge, you may do some errors. Fine. Now, the real knowledge and the illusion of knowledge. So now you can write it down. Socrates classifies knowledge into two types: the real knowledge and not real, but something which gives illusion or appearance of knowledge. Fine. So what we will do, we will use the word knowledge for the real knowledge. Fine. So if you are writing, you can write real knowledge and illusion of knowledge. So for real knowledge, there is no need to use the word real. You can use it knowledge. For illusion of knowledge, there is no need that you use the word knowledge. Let us have some other word. Now what is this word? You cannot call it knowledge. You can call it belief. You can call it opinion. Fine. So there is a difference in the real knowledge and the beliefs and opinion, and beliefs and opinions should not be called as knowledge. Only knowledge, pure knowledge, should be called as knowledge. Beliefs and opinions should not be called as knowledge. So what Socrates used to do? Socrates used to ask questions. Fine. For example, I am telling you the example of the dialectical method of Socrates. So Socrates used to engage people in questions. He used to ask, tell me what is justice? And somebody gives that this is justice. So Socrates tried to confuse that person, saying that, is it your belief or is it your knowledge? Fine. So this is your belief or this is knowledge? So what will be the difference? The difference is opinions can change. It is easy to change the opinions. If you have a knowledge, you will have confidence. If you have an opinion, your confidence will not be there. You will be shaky. So beliefs and opinions can change because they can be challenged. Fine? Yes. So you have to understand the difference between belief and knowledge. Fine? So what is a characteristic of true knowledge? The true knowledge means it cannot be shaken. It cannot be shaken. So true knowledge means whose foundation is strong. Foundation is strong. Foundation can not be shaken. The foundation which is resistant to all such challenges. Fine. So first of all, he says every knowledge is not knowledge, and we should be making the difference between the belief and knowledge. Belief, if you ask somebody, do you believe in that or do you know this? So belief or opinion are the words he uses for the illusion of knowledge, whereas for real knowledge he uses the word knowledge. Is this clear? So for beliefs we can use rhetorics. For knowledge we use dialectics. Fine? Or our beliefs, when get filtered through dialectics, get converted into knowledge. Okay? So let us connect the dots. Knowledge is necessary to be happy or to have a good life, but which knowledge? Any knowledge? Answer is no. Rather, which is real and which is different from the illusion and the real knowledge is foundational. You see na, this person's foundations are strong. Foundational means cannot be shaken. And the illusion of knowledge is like the beliefs. Beliefs can be shaken. Beliefs will never give you confidence. Foundational knowledge will give you confidence. If you have a knowledge, you will be confident. If you have something, belief and opinion, you will not be confident because somebody can easily change your opinions. Fine? So you have to understand the difference in knowledge and opinions. Knowledge and opinion. So if you have an opinion that the two triangle of a right angle, the two sides is square equals to hypotenuse, but if you have the knowledge of it, you can logically explain why. Okay, so how to get true knowledge? How to get true knowledge? So Socrates gives you a filter. Which filter? This filter is dialectics. You test fine. So you can write in your copies what is the characteristic. What is the characteristic of true knowledge? Now, since true knowledge is knowledge, there is no need to use the word true knowledge from now onwards. And many of you wanted to know what is true knowledge or wisdom. So here from now onwards, I will not use the word true knowledge. I will only use the word knowledge. And instead of true philosopher, I will only use the word philosopher. Means this word suits to whom? Not anybody who projects himself to be the philosopher, rather one who is philosopher in the real sense. True knowledge, it doesn't suit to every knowledge, whereas knowledge, which is knowledge in real sense. So now when I will use the word philosopher or knowledge, I will be using it for true knowledge and not for the opinions. So what is the characteristic of true knowledge? The characteristic of true knowledge is it cannot be shaken. Its foundations are strong, and if it will remain with you on the permanent basis. Fine. So this question you write, what is the characteristic of true knowledge? If somebody asks you to describe what is true knowledge, you can say one thing whose foundation is strong. Foundation is strong means which cannot be shaken. Next, true knowledge is permanent. It will always remain with you. So true knowledge is not mugging up of the facts. True knowledge is understanding the concepts. You will not forget the concepts. You will forget the facts. So true knowledge is permanent, and because it is permanent, it will remain with you always. Is this point clear? So I am reconnecting the dots. Why knowledge? Why knowledge is needed? Because the purpose of knowledge is happiness. Why knowledge? The purpose is happiness. And what is the character of true knowledge? It is permanent. Means no one can shake. So this knowledge gives you confidence. This will make you calm. So when you will go in the exam, if your knowledge is superficial, if you lack the conceptual clarity, you will never be calm, cool, composed in your examination. But if the knowledge you have gained is clear, your foundations are strong, but you can answer them properly with confidence, you will stay calm, you will stay composed. In Hindi there is a saying, adhjal gagari chalkat jaye, bhari gagariya chupke jaye. Means if something is half filled, if any vessel is half filled, it will keep on splitting the things. But if something is full, there will be no water here and there. So understand, fine. So what is the true knowledge about it? So now I will tell you, the true knowledge is the conceptual knowledge. And not the factual knowledge. So true knowledge means conceptual. We always say this person's concepts are strong. Okay, so conceptual knowledge, if you understand the things conceptually. Number of times when I discuss the strategy, I always tell students, focus on conceptual knowledge. Unfortunately, students waste time after current events, remembering the facts. See, there can be n number of developments in India and China, or India and Pakistan, and you are not expected that you know each and every fact, but still you can write a sensible answer if you have the conceptual knowledge, if you have the theoretical understanding, if you understand what type of a relation the two neighbors of the equal strength can have, what type of a relation India and China will have, even when the events do not take place, still you can understand. Fine. So knowing the events and understanding the underlying causes, more important is you understand the underlying causes. So events will keep on taking the shape. It's not necessary for you to note down each and every fact, because if you know the concepts, things move according to the facts. Fine. So the knowledge of concepts, not the fact. The knowledge, not information. The knowledge, not events. Is this point clear? So now he told the characteristic of the true knowledge. The characteristic of the true knowledge is it cannot be challenged. It is permanent in nature. Now I will link the theory of knowledge with theory of idea. And without theory of idea, you cannot understand the complete theory of knowledge. And theory of idea is the most important contribution of whom? Plato. Okay, so up till now we are doing epistemology. Now we are entering into ontology. Okay. And while I am describing the theory of idea, please don't write anything. I will make you write the summary of the theory of idea. You just understand, because this will require your concentration to understand. Fine. And more than political science, there is a probability of asking this question in ethics, in philosophy. And if you don't understand the idea, you will not understand the philosophy. Okay. Now in theory of idea, you will not write anything until unless I instruct you to write. You will hear. And after the whole discussion, two things we have to focus from the perspective of exam. What are these two things? The first question that comes from the theory of idea is reality is the shadow of idea. This question we will understand. Reality is the shadow of idea. Second, the second question which you should know, that is allegory of cave. Reality is the shadow of idea, and the second question is allegory of cave. And even in political science, if you don't understand, that is fine, but you will have to understand in ethics, and you can use this in ethics at multiple places. Okay? So, theory of knowledge. Means epistemology. Epistemology, theory of knowledge. Fine. Theory of knowledge is always connected with the theory of reality. The theory of knowledge is always connected with the theory of reality. Is this point clear? If you are not clear, then only you write theory of knowledge is linked to the theory of reality. Why? Understand? Knowledge is about the truth. Knowledge is about the truth or reality. Knowledge is about the truth or reality. Okay? So, in theory of reality, what we study? What really exists. In theory of reality, what we study? We study what really exists. Is this point clear? So, theory of reality is called as ontology. Fine. So, what really exists? Scholars held that some believe matter is real. Fine. Some believe idea is real. Some believe matter is real. Some believe idea is real. Fine. So, those who believe matter is real, they are called materialists. Those who believe idea is real, they are called idealists. Now don't start asking idealist is not realist. I am not entertaining these questions. Today you will understand only one difference, the difference between materialist and idealist. I don't want you to pay your attention to understand the difference, which I am not right now talking about realist and idealist. Which difference I am talking about? Materialist and idealist. Is this clear? So materialist and idealist we are discussing as a part of ontology, means what really exists. And this ontology will shape my epistemology. When I will be clear what I have to study, this will shape my epistemology. Let's take a simple example, ontology. There are several optionals in UPSC, political science, sociology. So ontologically, you decided you will study political science. After that, you move into an epistemology that you will study political science. How? You will go for self-study. You will study with me. You will study with some other teacher. Fine. So basically, the theory of ontology and theory of epistemology will be interlinked. And ontology will give you the conception of reality. What constitutes reality? And my conception of reality will also shape my epistemology, that I am studying what. So the most important contribution, don't write and listen. The most important contribution of Plato is theory of idea. Now, the theory of idea is Plato's ontology. The most important contribution of Plato is the theory of idea. The theory of idea is called as ontology. Fine. Ontology means the study of reality. Ontology means the study of reality. Is this point? The study of reality. What is real? The study of reality means understanding what is real. Fine. So conceptually, we often talk about this world, means the world in which we are living. And this world is made up of what? This world is made up of matter. Fine. Matter. And then there is another word, the word of God. So theory of idea. Theory of idea is called as ontology. Ontology is the study of reality. Fine. How scholars have looked into reality. So conventionally, what we have seen, people have divided this word and there is a word of God. Fine. So some people believe that this word is word of matter, and then there is a word of God. Okay. God have you seen? No. Matter you can have seen? Yes. Fine. So those who believe that the word of matter is real or the word of idea is real. Fine. So what is real? Matter or idea? Those who will say matter is real, you will call them materialist. Those who believe idea is real, you will call them idealists. Materialists and idealists. Okay. Now, if you have not written, you can just write theory of idea, theory of idea is Plato's ontology. Ontology is a study of reality, and scholars have classified reality into two types, matter and idea. Is this point clear? So those who say matter is real, they are materialist. Those who say idea is real, they are idealists. Fine. So let us see. You can write this question, whether Plato is idealist or realist. Whether Plato is idealist or materialist. So today we have to decide whether Plato is idealist or Plato is materialist. Okay? Now, to decide this, I am giving one statement of Plato. Reality is the shadow of idea. Reality is the shadow of idea. Okay? You and your shadow, which is real? You may be real or shadow is real. Shadow is not real. Fine. So, if I substitute in place of idea you, and then the shadow, who is more real? You or your shadow? You. So what he is saying, reality is the shadow of idea. Here this word reality means the word of matter.